Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome back to Tuck Rule Takes. This is episode 57, the very prestigious what was the name?
Steven Nelson,
Steven Nelson,
our Lord
three-time
and
Pro
Savior. Pull
Bowler,
yourself
Lord and
together.
Savior. Steven Nelson played from, what was it, 74 to 86, something like that. Long time. It's 74. Yeah, all the years back then. I was not born yet, but shout out to Steven Nelson. Wonder what you're doing. If you are no longer with us, RIP. But anyways, we are not going to start that on a somber note. I am Mike Sullivan. With me, as always, Liam McDade. We do have a guest in the Tuck Rule Takes house. Someone who's been here before. We got Big Al Jazeera here with us, ladies and gentlemen. Big Al, what's up? How's it going? How you been?
What's up, motherfucker?
No, I've been good, guys. Always fun to come on. So two things. Steve Nelson is still alive. He actually was the head.
Good for Steve Nelson.
He actually was the head football coach at Curry College in Milton, Mass.
No shit. I live right near there.
64-22 in 8 years of coaching.
God damn.
And did you call me Jezzy? Did you call me Jezzy Arrow?
I said Big Al Jazeera. A little worse.
Okay.
A little worse than that.
I was gonna say, let's not confuse this with a Bills fan. Shout out Zach Jaziera. I love you, my co-host on my Red Sox podcast. Go check that out. But yes, no, just wanted to make sure that we're not getting a little senile up there, Michael. Just making sure that everything's working.
Well, no, I've also questioned his, cognitive ability.
Yeah, but that's only because everyone questions yours. So you need to go after someone to make you feel better.
Fair enough. I do.
Al, Liam's criticism, I need you to, it's coming from someone who still thinks that Cam Newton would be a better quarterback for this team. Someone who is also outwardly an Eagles fan. So I think there are many red flags with this gentleman, which again, I question every week why he is my co-host.
Cam would have put a touchdown on the board yet.
I think he would have threw a pick. I think he would have threw a pick.
Mike, to be honest, I would be disappointed in Liam, but I've been disappointed in Liam so many times with his takes that this is just like another layer that's just added on and on.
You guys are haters. That's fine. You guys are Cam Newton haters. I get it. That's totally fine. You deny the truth.
Liam, can I ask you a question real quick? And then sorry, Mike, I know this is your guys' show and I don't want to
talk
ruin
away.
it. But does Cam Newton have a job right now, even as a backup?
No.
Okay, so what does that tell you?
That tells me that NFL scouts and owners don't have an eye for talent.
That tells me that Cam Newton's talent, which he was very talented back in the day, 2015 MVP, keep in mind. Okay.
He was.
He doesn't have it anymore. And guess what? He would not have scored on this Jets defense.
Oh, he would have. I don't think Patrick Mahomes would have been good on last year's Panthers team, but I digress.
Last year's Panthers team? What?
Yeah, that's where Cam Newton.
I thought. Okay. Sorry, it took me a second. Okay, I got you.
Yeah, he did. He looked bad.
I blame myself. I'm the one who brought up Cam Newton. I should not have brought up Cam Newton. I knew
that was a dumb move.
I was probably going to start. I was probably going to start with it anyway.
I knew what I was taking up, but no. You know what we're going to start off with. We are going to start off with, well, actually, first of all, we have just a little house cleaning for the Patriots right now. Just a couple roster moves just to talk about before we jump in.
Somebody stole my Cam Newton jersey.
Good.
It's very valuable.
Okay.
No.
So
uncalled for.
Liam, you may want to listen to this one. Lil Jordan Humphrey, we did not have an episode last week. It was a bye week, so we weren't here either. Lil Jordan Humphrey is no longer a New England Patriot. He did get released. JJ Taylor got waived today. He, as of right now, he didn't sign back with the practice squad. He did clear waivers, so who knows what's going to happen with him. Ty Montgomery as well, likely out for the year, even though I don't think it's been officially reported. Yeah, his shoulder injury. Belichick keeps saying it's day by day, or up until like 5 or 6 days ago, he was saying that, but Ty
everything's day by
most
day.
Likely out. And now we get into kind of the really shitty news. Christian Barmore and Jake Bailey both placed on IR. Liam, we talked about this before. Al, I'm sure you know. Or Liam and I, we texted about it. We weren't talking about it on the show. Defense doing fine without Barmore right now. Can't wait till he comes back. And Jake Bailey, I mean, we have a punter right now who had an average of like 40 something yards punting. So having a good time. And David Andrews practiced today. So those are the quick little hitters. Any comments, concerns, anything on that before we jump into the game, guys?
I mean, the best news is David Andrews is practicing. I could have swore I chalked that up the second I saw it out for the season. I was like,
Yeah.
it's over. I texted you, season over. I'm like, we're fucked. Our offensive line looks terrible. And now we
Yeah.
just lost our center, the most important part, besides arguably the left tackle, I guess.
I'll
I
say
thought we were boned.
I'll say one thing real quick about Christian Barmore. It's kind of
Mhm.
disappointing to see him on the IR because he's a guy that was really expected to take a jump in year 2 and really be a force in that on that defensive line. So
Yeah.
the fact that he's kind of been in and out, inconsistent when he plays, and now just another injury to add on to his 2022 season, it's disappointing to say the least. But hopefully he can be back for the very end of the season. Hopefully the run to a playoff spot.
You're
It is.
preaching to the congregation here, Al. Mike has a life-size
I
cardboard cutout of Christian Barmore that he takes
I
with him everywhere he goes.
believe I gotta look back because at the end of the regular season, Liam, we're gonna look back to our first episode. We had like accolades, things we saw were gonna happen.
Yeah.
Christian Barmore, for me, he was either the one I had the highest hopes for, or I had I believe I even said he was going to get Defensive Player of the Year votes because I thought this was his year. So I am right there with you when I say that, yeah, the injury sucks. Although, like I said, defense is doing fine without him. Not saying he doesn't need to come back. It'd be awesome, like you said, come back for a playoff push, which the Patriots most likely will be in because as of right now, they are in the 6th seed, I believe.
Yep.
But anyways, we have gone far too long without talking about this. Patriots, Jets, barn burner of a game. They won 10-3, arguably the most exciting ending to a game this season for any team, anything. I think there's a fair amount of stuff to talk about with this. I heard a lot of people saying before the game that the Patriots were, the old bend but don't break defense. That's what everybody likes to say about them and all that stuff. So let's jump in. We're going to start with the defense, but I just kind of have their stats, their rankings to rattle off to you guys. Let me this doesn't really sound like a bend but don't break defense. Right now, Patriots are second overall, 4th in yards, 2nd in points, 2nd in sacks, 2nd in QB pressures, 1st in QB hurries, tied 3rd for turnovers, 6th in yards after catch, fewest completions allowed, as well as the lowest completion percentage. That doesn't sound like a bend but don't break defense. That sounds like a fucking elite defense. And they showed it.
No bend in that. Sounds
No
like
bend.
steel girder defense. That shit stays solid.
And I know what everybody says. The whole thing is, oh, they haven't played anybody. They've played scrubs, they played whoever. Well, I saw a tweet from Boston Sports Info today or yesterday or something like that. He said they played shitty QBs. Well, if they do, they hold them to way shittier results than anybody else. The quarterbacks the Patriots have played that everybody says are shitty right now that they've gone through. They have a completion percentage of 55.7, 12 touchdowns, 11 interceptions, and a QBR of 74. The rest of the league, those same quarterbacks against the rest of the league, completion percentage of 64.8, 87 touchdowns to 34 interceptions, and a QBR of 94.6. So yes, they have been playing shitty quarterback, or not even shitty quarterbacks, just kind of subpar because the Lions are back to putting up points on everybody. They held the Dolphins to 13 points. People don't talk about that. But I hate the narrative that the Patriots defense hasn't played anybody, bend but don't break, all that stuff. Ladies and gentlemen, this was your Bill Belichick win of a game. Defense and special teams. I figured we'll start with defense since that's where the most exciting stuff is, even though I think offense has some cool stuff to talk about. And I'm gonna throw out the first talking point. Al, Liam and I have said this a couple times. Matthew Judon, top 3 Bill Belichick signing ever. Right now, he has 13 sacks. They took away that full sack. They
13 and a half sacks.
They took
it away?
Yeah. Which made sense. They split it with I forget. Not
was
Wise.
I was gonna say,
was it Wise? It might have been
either
Wise
or Bentley. It was one of the two.
Either way, 13. That's his career high right now. Matthew Judon, right now for me, defensive player of the year for the entire league. There's no in between. There's no in between. But yeah, this defense though, I figure we'll start with Judon. I don't know if he can keep this up, but goddamn. He is killing it right now.
There is nothing that tells me he won't keep this up. He is a madman, a man possessed. It looks like he is playing youth football teams. He rips through the line. The quarterbacks are instantly horrified. The rollout rate for quarterbacks playing the Patriots are ridiculous because every time he's instantly through pushing quarterbacks out of the pocket to make plays. Zach Wilson couldn't make plays in the pocket, couldn't make plays out of the pocket, but that guy was under pressure. Cue David Bowie, because that was an ugly, ugly outing for him overall. And Judon was kind of like the reason he was seeing ghosts. He couldn't complete passes out to the flat. I mean, we'll say the same thing about Mac later, how he didn't have any offensive line help, but god damn, every time Zach Wilson got the ball snapped to him, he's probably like 9 is coming. Oh no.
Nice Sam Darnold reference, by the way, there, Liam, with the seeing ghosts.
Yeah, hey,
nice,
gotta throw it in. Gotta throw it in.
But so real quick, I'll kind of throw kind of what you guys are saying. Matthew Judon, absolutely, Mike, 100% defensive player of the year, has to be, right? I think the reason that he can keep it up is because if you take a look at the snap totals that he's had over the first half of the season, significant. I don't want to say significantly, but definitely less than what he played last year. And I think credit to the Patriots defense, it's gotten better as a whole, right? So you take a look at their secondary. Their secondary is really good. I think they're like second in the NFL, like you said, in like takeaways, right? And then they obviously have other pieces on that line, like Devon Godchow, Dedrick Wise, Juwan Bentley's become a really nice linebacker for the Patriots, you know? And I think because they've gotten so much better, that's taken the pressure off of Judon, who then can be fresher for his games. So that way he can be more impactful come Sundays. And I think that you're going to see that down the line, especially in that stretch run where they're going to need Judon to continue what he's done the first half of the season.
Another guy that you know no one brings up because I think he kind of got lost in the shuffle. He got paired with Winovich a lot, which kind of like he always got spoke about like him. Josh Uche been killing it.
Uche. Yeah,
been killing it.
Right.
Yeah. And by the way, Al, when you say real quick or whatever, no, there's no such thing as a quick take, buddy. Just jump on in this shit.
It's a force of habit. It's a habit. But I will gladly rant on because otherwise I'll rant on for 2 hours. But I'll rant with you guys anytime. You know that.
Yeah, I think with Judon, and we'll talk about it when we talk about the upcoming game against the Vikings on Thanksgiving. Vikings are down their left tackle right now. The Cowboys demolished Kirk Cousins, and the Cowboys are in all these stats how the Patriots are second or third. The Cowboys are really one of the only teams that are above them. So it's not like the Vikings are going from the Cowboys to the Texans. You know, they're going from the best defense to the second best defense. So I think Judon keeps it up. I think he makes Kirk Cousins look like Kirk Cousins. Shout out Shannon Sharp. That's his
classic. One of my favorites.
His little thing.
Kimfo Kirk.
I'll just throw another little thing out there. Patriots allowed 103 yards overall of offense in this game. Guys, I got a little question for you. We all know, that the Jets could not move the ball at all. Do you know the average distance the Jets traveled?
Yes, I do.
On every play. I figured you would, Al, because I know you're on Twitter as well. And also you hear this stuff. The average distance that the Jets traveled in the second half per play. Liam, I'll ask you because Al knows. Could you even guess the distance? Like in yards, feet, whatever you want to.
Whatever
metric you want to use.
Whatever metric you want to use.
I watched every snap and there was no big plays. None. They had basically given up on running the ball.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
I don't know. Fucking couple yards.
Not even close. 2.7 inches per play.
Oh, what the fuck?
Inches. Not even yard. That's this much. I think they ran something like 26 or 29 plays.
Yeah. See, I was gonna say 2.9, so I would have been off by like 0.2 of an inch. But
I think I was looking at 2. Yeah. And obviously, as we know, the Jets only gained two total yards in the second half.
Okay. Jesus Christ. That's fucking way off.
Two total yards, 2.7 inches
benefit of the doubt there.
And negative 21 passing yards in the second half.
Yep. That was going to be the little ice cream on the cherry on
top of the sundae.
Is that not the most Jets thing you've ever heard?
All that All that, but guys, don't try to tell Zach Wilson that he was the problem.
That was the best. I
was
did
so
see that interview.
Do not try
dumb.
to ask him.
He's
God
so
forbid you ask Zach Wilson, do you know who you're talking to? Second overall pick, Zach Wilson. You're going to ask him if he was the problem? Oh, no. Au contraire, mon frere. No, he was not. The defense should have held them to 0 points and they would have won the game. I think that's the only way of thinking I can think that Zach Wilson was traveling in his little immature. I mean, Stephen A. Smith called him a boy. I mean, in a league of men, he's a boy. Like,
well,
mentally.
did you see his post-game interview? He truly looked like a child. He's got like the Under Armour thing up to here with the little knit cap on. I'm like, dude, how old is this kid?
I mean, he's
Zach
like
Wilson
21. He's like 21, 22.
It's preposterous, though. He looks like he's 16. My buddy's kid is older than fucking Zach Wilson. He's 4.
How do you not do like the normal? I mean, we've heard Mac Jones say it almost every game this year, where it's like, we let the defense down, we let them down, blah blah blah. Dude, it's so easy. Nobody would have like or even nobody would have been like, yeah, oh my God, you did let them down. They would have been like, yeah, no shit. So like, get back onto it next week. Like this, I don't. The Jets are crumbling, and it gives me the sliver of hope that like the NFL world for the Patriots is slowly moving into the right direction, where seems like they're in the playoff hunt again. They're going to be in the playoffs. Defense is solid as fuck, and you just tore down the Jets 2 out of 3 weeks, like, or 2 times in 3 weeks. Like,
not only that too. You got to think about it this way: if you're the Jets, why do you not tell the punter, just punt it out of bounds? That's all you had to
classic.
do, right?
It's classic.
And listen, I'm not gonna lie, guys. Like the way the game was going, and you can't tell me that neither one of you thought this way, because there was at one point you're thinking to yourself, "Oh shit! If there is some miracle that happens, where look at the first half." Look at what Zach Wilson did in the first half. Throws up a prayer down the left sideline. Jack Jones gets turned around.
Jack Jones didn't know.
and it just falls right in his hands because the wind was so severe that day, right? I'm thinking to myself, if that happens again, if it just one play, that's all you need. One play. Yeah. That's all they needed. One play, and they could have been in field goal range, could have kicked the field goal, and we're talking about a completely different topic tonight, as opposed to the Patriots being 6-4. That's the part that scared me, because I was like, oh shit, they're going to lose this game. They're going to find a way to lose this because they're not doing what they need to do on offense, which I know we'll talk about in a couple of minutes. But man, Robert Saleh had a great game plan for the Jets. Like they got to Mac Jones. They sacked Mac Jones 6 times.
A lot.
Held the offense to 3 points. All you had to do was kick the ball out of bounds, and you have a chance to win the game in overtime and steal one on the road. But thank you. Thank you, Robert Saleh. Thank you, New York Jets, for being a trash franchise when it comes to making decisions in clutch time. So
truly a cursed franchise. And like there's been a lot of like talk about Zach Wilson's play this year, and most of it's been positive. Like they were 6-3 going into this.
They beat
game.
the Bills.
Like, they beat the Bills. So people are talking about him as a competent quarterback, and we'll get into my love of another quarterback that most people aren't fond of here. In the 3 games that Joe Flacco started, he has 5 passing touchdowns. Zach Wilson has 4 since then, and he's played almost double Joe Flacco's games. Joe Flacco, elite quarterback. But it's just now people are talking about Zach Wilson's job and saying that, like, this guy is not an NFL quarterback. He might not even be a backup. And just last year, he was drafted 2nd overall. There are already murmurs. It's all because of that press conference and that terrible fucking performance he had against us. Now everyone, because of Bill Belichick, because of what the Patriots did to this man, people are like, shit, he might not even belong in this league. Bill might have just got a guy fired once again, because he did get Frank Reich fired the week before.
Was
Bill's out for people's jobs.
Yeah. Did just another cool, since we're talking about the great Zach Wilson. The Jets had 9 completions and they punted the ball 10 times.
Yeah.
That just doesn't seem
that's tough.
But again, wasn't the offense, wasn't Zach Wilson's fault. Definitely not. You said, the punter the punter, first of all, you out punted your coverage, which is crazy, which is almost why I love that this is how that game ended. And Al, I agree. there were many times, not even just one time. You said there was a thought sneaking in. The thought was there for the entire second half, pretty much, where I was like, the Patriots are going to play this great defensive game. And then all of a sudden they're going to lose on some BS play, like a bit, a chuck up to Mims or something stupid like that.
Yeah.
And they're going to lose. And that's going to be the talk of the town. But no, what happened is this is, like I said, the most Bill Belichick win because it was defense. And what unit ended up winning the game?
Defense and
special teams. Nobody and nobody puts a premium on special teams. I shouldn't say nobody. The majority of the league doesn't care about special teams. It's kind of, kick it out of the end zone, directional punt out of bounds, have a good kicker. No one seems to put emphasis on punt returns, kick returns, getting good gunners like Slater, getting all these people getting the what was Marcus Jones' thing coming out of college? He was the most electric punt returner in years or whatever. He showed why. And Belichick kind of again showed that while he doesn't have a perfect track record, special teams will always show up when you least expect it, and that's what happened here.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Incredible. Yep.
Like there hasn't been a punt return in years. Like returns in general are going out the door. Fans want to get rid of them altogether. And then in the same day, Cordero Patterson kick return for a touchdown, and then Marcus Jones brings it to the house for the win. That's why you can't get rid of special teams, because even though everyone forgets about it, it's still extremely important. It's hilarious to see when a guy like Robert Saleh is going, he's going, okay, there hasn't been a punt return in years, and it doesn't really happen. And the odds are very against Marcus Jones bringing this back for a touchdown. But then there's Bill on the other side who goes, we've practiced this. This is our Hail Mary return here. We're going to go into ultimate coverage. I was watching a video of Bill breaking it down where Jabril Peppers and somebody else just stuffed the gunner, pulled him out of bounds, and that was the way Marcus Jones followed that, went right by him. Bill breaks the whole thing down. He's still criticizing his guys. He goes, oh, they didn't get off their block fast enough here and whatnot. I'm like, guys, ruthless. But still, literally brings a tear to my eye. But phenomenal coaching and phenomenal play by Marcus Jones. Guy has wheels.
By the way, first punt return for a touchdown this year in the NFL.
Yeah. Oh, I don't think there was one last year either. I don't think there was a single one last year.
I remember seeing some stat. I think it's been a couple years. Yeah, if I remember correctly. But I do also want to shout out you both or my stream, since I live in Florida, was about a play and a half behind. So I got texts from both of you guys, one from Liam, what a way to end it. And then I forget, Al, what you said, but it was just, because I think at that point I like half looked at the phone. I was like, I don't think this is going to be bad, because I don't like, I feel like I know Liam's text enough to know that it wasn't, but I'm watching and I'm like, it's a punt. Like
I think I said you're going to be happy with what happens next. Something along those lines.
Yeah, and I was like, what, are they going to like block or like something's going to happen? No, just like the most electric ending to a game in the last, God, I don't even know how long. Yeah, that was incredible. Marcus Jones also drafted by Bill Belichick, so I feel like we always have to give a shout out to that.
Let the record show he can draft.
Yeah, one Jones gave up a big pass, the other Jones ended up winning the game. And I loved how like a few plays before that, or like maybe a few drives, it was like Marcus Jones questionably returned with a knee. With like a knee injury. And it's like, I think he's good. I think the knee, whether they shot it up with something, he came back and he's good.
The Patriots Twitter was like, and they quote tweeted it and said, and he returned.
That's what it was.
Like yeah.
Yep. I was trying to think of who tweeted. I was like, because I know a lot of people were saying that, and I was like, because I remember I saw one and I was like, oh shit. Yeah, I do love when the team Twitters get involved. Another thing with the Jets, by the way, coming out of halftime, that's when you expect teams to make their adjustments and all that stuff. The Jets had 5 straight 3-and-outs coming out of halftime. So again, just another testament to how good this defense, how good it is, how good they've been. Kyle Duggar showing up. Judon, we've talked about him. There's Jonathan Jones showing up. Actually, you know what? No, I haven't. I'll nitpick. Devin McCourty.
That was exactly where I was going to go.
Buddy,
talk about a gift.
Oh, that was. Listen. Devin McCourty has felt so bad for Zach Wilson that he didn't want to see a grown man cry on TV because he keeps getting so many interceptions. So you know what? We need to thank Devin McCourty, because Devin McCourty is a man of honor, a man of integrity, and a man of respect. So he's like, you know what, Zach Wilson, we're going to beat you anyway. So you know what? So that way the New York papers don't blast you even more than they're going to. I'm going to just let this drop right here. And have fun because it's 4th down anyway. So you're giving us the ball anyway. So Devin McCourty, class act.
It's a testament to his compassion because last game he picked him off twice.
Exactly.
So he's like, I can't do him like this again. No, that just,
Jonathan Jones should have had one though too.
Jonathan Jones almost had one. Yep.
I thought he should have had that. He had his hands on it. He jumped the route perfectly.
And that's the crazy thing, guys. That this game, this defensive performance, everything, no turnovers for the Pats, which has really been, obviously, whenever you have a game like this, you always think there's going to be some sort of turnover, something like that. No, this was just the Patriots defense saying, we're gonna take over.
We got this one.
Yeah. Which we will. I guess now we'll get into the offense. I have kind of just a statement to throw to you guys, and then we'll discuss it. Talking about the offense, you should always start with the quarterback. Mac Jones' best game this year, 23-27, 246, no touchdowns, no picks, no turnover-worthy plays. Great decisions with the ball for the most part. Nothing alarming, really, that jumped out. In the Jets defense, by the way, I think going into this, they were 3rd in points, 7th in yards. They were somewhere around where the Patriots defense was. So this is also 246 yards, the second most passing yards the Jets defense has allowed. First was to Josh Allen. So again, Mac Jones, this was a good game. Yes, he did not have a touchdown. I understand. That's frustrating. This offense as a whole is 31st in the league in the red zone. That's an issue. But overall, I think this is Mac Jones' best game. Gentlemen, what say you?
Al, go nuts.
All right. Oh, you don't want to say go nuts because I will go nuts about this. So I will say this. It was nice to see that when Mac Jones had time to throw the football, more than 2 seconds to throw it, he actually made plays. And I think about this sequence, and you guys can help me out with this because I'm trying to remember. So it was a 20-yard strike. I believe it was to Hunter Henry. And then the next play, I think it was to a receiver. I want to say it was like Jacoby Myers, maybe off play action. It was 2 play actions in a row where they got down the field. Like they got 2 chunk plays. I'm almost certain.
He had one too. I don't know if it was him. It might have been him. I don't know.
You know what, Mike? I think you're right. I think it might have been Jono. I think you're actually right about that.
I can think of what you're talking about, though. Yeah.
Yeah. You get
by the way, the Mac Jones, second shortest time to throw. First was Matt Ryan. He had 2 point something seconds to throw the ball this week.
I think it was 2.93. Yeah, if I'm not mistaken.
Damn.
So, yep. Yeah. So, anyways, proceed. Sorry. Yep.
No, you're fine. All good. I love stats like that. They just feed into my argument. So with that, right? Mac Jones, I'm not saying he's going to end up, and I said this on my podcast, Legends Lingo podcast. It's not that we expect him to end up like Patrick Mahomes or Josh Allen or even Joe Burrow. That's okay. If he can be serviceable, if he can be a good NFL quarterback, like a B- type of quarterback, you take that, right?
All day.
So you think about it, right? The people that are saying, well, he threw it short. He had to throw it 5 to 10 yards. Yeah, because he was getting pressured. He had no time to throw. Now, there have been times this year, and you two can both agree with this. There have been a few times this year where Mac has taken bad sacks and made bad decisions. Every quarterback does it, right? He has made some bad decisions. There's no denying that.
Yeah.
But a lot of the time, the pocket collapses so quick, and people forget this. If you're still in the pocket, you can't just throw the ball out of bounds. Nope. Because obviously, what penalty comes up, Mike?
Yep, intentional grounding.
Intentional grounding. Bingo. Nope. And I didn't just ask you that because I forgot what the name of the penalty was for a second. I totally didn't do that. But again, okay, so intentional grounding, right? Would you rather hold on to the ball and say lose 5 yards or throw the ball away, get an intentional grounding penalty, lose it down, and go 10 yards back? You need to be smart about it.
Yep.
And that's the thing, right? And that's the thing that bothers me. What bothers me about this offense is that, and Mike, you and I talked about this over text message, and we were kind of going back and forth, not in a bad way, but we were having a discussion about this. The thing that drives me nuts is when a play action works. I'm not saying you got to do it 10 times in a row. You don't have to do that. But do it like 2 or 3 times. Keep the defense off balance. Mm-hmm. Keep the defense guessing. Because if you do that, then the defense is saying, oh shit, they can actually throw the ball. And then that can open up the running game again. Because by the way, Ramondre Stevenson, worst game of his season so far, 15 carries for 26 yards. Damian Harris, 8 for 65.
My boy.
Damian Harris.
Damian Harris,
very good.
Despite the box score, he played a lot better than the box score says.
Absolutely.
Like, he was ripping them off.
Impact.
Yes, he did.
That's what he did. It was all impact. Yep.
Absolutely. And to kind of close out my little rant here, Mac Jones is a guy that he will make smart decisions, but you got to block for him. You have to. And that's with any quarterback, right? Why is Patrick Mahomes good? He has the natural talent, but he has a decent offensive line. The Bills,
we saw him in the Super Bowl without an offensive line.
Yep. And look at Joe Burrow in the Super Bowl. Why did he lose the Super Bowl? Because he didn't have the protection in front of him.
Yeah.
And the last play of that Super Bowl, he got sacked by Aaron Donald, who is a freak, but still no offensive line. Get the offensive line fixed. Hope David Andrews is healthy. I can't believe I'm saying this, but get Isaiah Wynn back on the field because you need some competent blockers.
Wow.
You need body.
I know. I have to go to a dark place. I might have to shower after that one. But again, get this offensive line intact, and you can actually see this offense go forward. You saw little parts where the offense actually looked better. They just didn't get in the end zone. That's the next step.
Yep. I agree. By the way, Liam, before you jump in, I think, Al, and I don't know if you've heard me say this, Joe Burrow, I think, is what Mac Jones can be if he keeps trending and doing what he's doing.
I've heard you say that before.
So,
a couple on episodes that
I agree. But Liam, sorry, did not mean to cut you off.
Sorry. No, you're good.
Floor is yours.
So is that what you think of Mac as like he's a mid-tier quarterback, or is that just what he looks like?
That's just what he looks like right now. I think he can be good. Like I said, if you have him at a B, I'm not even saying an A. If you have him at a B minus, that's good. Yeah, you take that.
Okay, yeah, because then I would agree with that in a sense. Like you said, all quarterbacks are system quarterbacks, like for the most part. Like they need to function in a good system. And the hate Mac's getting, me and Mike come on the show every week and talk about it. Like, what is wrong with the Bailey Zappi thing? Was the really like the Achilles heel for him that really put all this pressure in the forefront here. I think the whole game I was watching it, and there's nothing more he could have done in that game than what he did. Like, there was little opportunities for him, and he was making the most out of it. He, in my opinion, is if he has an offensive line, like say drop Mac Jones on the 49ers right now, switch him and Jimmy G. Mac Jones could be a top tier quarterback, probably I would argue a top 7 quarterback if he was on a good team like the 49ers with weapons and blocking. They have incredible offensive line. And his potential is huge, but we haven't got the chance to see it yet. Even last year, his rookie year when he was conservative, 22 tubs, 13 picks is quite promising. Not comparing him to Josh Allen, no quarterbacks are built the same, but Josh Allen had like 11 touchdowns in his first year, 17 or something unimpressive. But all quarterbacks are a system quarterback. I just hate the constant hate that Mac Jones is getting, and I'm glad that you see it is the offensive line because they are so unsung that no one gives praise to offensive linemen and no one really shits on them either, except for Bengals fans who are dedicated to the game and see how fucking miserable it is for Joe Burrow. It drives me up a fucking wall.
Right.
Yeah, it begins and ends. Everything does with the offensive line. It's so tough to judge, to make these big declarations about the offense when first and foremost, you had a relatively, I don't want to say simple because it wasn't simple, but a more conservative game plan because of the weather and also because of the offensive line in this game. I mean, you look at the one real deep pass that was thrown, Al, you brought up earlier. It was the one from Zach Wilson that like floated up there, which is why Jack Jones lost it. Otherwise, he probably would have picked it off. But it's just one of those things where like you can't, like there's still criticism you can make. Don't get me wrong. I'm not making excuses for the offense as a whole, but it's just, you can't make these definitive things because the offensive line, like I said, he had the second fewest time. What am I trying to say? The second shortest amount of time to throw.
Yeah.
You guys get what I'm trying. I can't fucking find the
100%.
words. That's what it was. He didn't have time to throw. That's what I'm trying to say. So it's
like my analogy, and like I said,
there's
whether it's Patrick Mahomes or him, you can't do shit with that.
I don't know. It's not great. It's not great. So
you guys worried about the Vikings?
Is Liam talking?
Yes.
Okay, cool. You guys keep talking. My
Right.
headphones went out. Proceed with the speaking. Do not worry about it. Keep going.
Of course.
Let me figure this out.
Actually, hold on. But before I even get to the Vikings, I did want to point out our boy Ramondre Stevenson, though, because you did say, this was his worst game of the season, which, he kills it most other games.
Yeah.
He, for the second straight week, was the leading receptions leader for the Patriots.
Right.
The checkdowns to Ramondre work so well. And the fact that, we have another back like that, I was talking to Mike last week, for Bill to have Damian Harris, who we drafted in the second round, I believe, and he didn't even start his first year, then ends up being a baller last year with 17 tubs, to move seamlessly to Ramondre Stevenson, who's now kind of clear-cut the lead back, speaks to Bill's drafting once again. I'm like, dude, this guy can't miss, except for, quarterbacks and other stuff.
What I missed? You guys talking about running backs?
Ramondre Stevenson.
Yeah.
Yeah, Stevenson.
I was saying, once again, led the team in receptions, second straight week.
Yeah. No, Stevenson's good. Like he's a very good back, and he's a good multi-purpose back. Yeah. It just the rushing part of it, that was his worst game of the year. But
definitely.
I mean, he had that 3rd and 16 where he broke 5 tackles to get.
I was flipping out to Mike about that.
Yeah, that was crazy. But it's the thing that Liam, we talk about it almost every week when it's Stevenson, because you are. I think we both like both running backs, but I think it's fair to say you're a Stevenson guy. I'm a Harris guy. If you had to kind of put us in a thing, we both still like both of them. But it's nice to see that when you have one of these running backs that, for whatever reason, just isn't having a good game, whether it's just unlucky plays, happens when he's running the blocking shitty, whatever it is, you have another guy to throw in there who is going to be fresh because Stevenson has been taking the majority of the workload. You have a Stevenson in there, and you put Harris in there, and it's like, they don't miss a beat. It's just,
I didn't even think Harris was going to play. I was like, cool. I didn't even know he was going to be out there.
I didn't.
No, but he did, and it's just it's insane. And David Andrews, by the way, the fact that he is, and Liam, you said at the beginning, the fact that he's even practicing after he was carried off the field, a la Mac Jones, when he had his high ankle sprain, that's incredible, man. David
Warrior
Andrews,
mentality.
That's so Boston sports.
We all know that David Andrews is who he is, but I think him in shorts and a t-shirt out before that game against the Jets too, warming up. Everybody else is bundled up. Kendrick Bourne looks like he's a friggin' CIA agent going into the mountains or something with his face covering, all that stuff. Meanwhile, David Andrews is like, this is just another Sunday, boys. That's all. I love it. David Andrews is rapidly climbing up the ranks of my favorite Patriots of all time. But I don't know. My final thought on this game, I have nothing more to say about the defense. Everything's already been said about them. I think that they're elite. The bye week curse that happened last year, doesn't seem like it's happening now. So obviously we'll find out more, as the season goes on. But that's a good sign. So this defense keeps playing how they are. They allow the offense to kind of find their footing, which, Mac Jones did a full system audit, whatever the hell that means and everything. So one of the big things in the offense that I've seen that I hope happens as the season goes on, Mac Jones gets to the back of his 3-5 step drop, whatever he's taken. There's receivers turning around looking at him. The receivers aren't still trying to run deep routes. So I hope that keeps happening. I have very high hopes for the defense. I have high-ish hopes for the offense. I am ready for the Thanksgiving game. What are your guys' kind of closing thoughts, whatever, about this Jets game before we talk about the Vikings game and get out of here for Thanksgiving?
I did have a question. Is this one of the more memorable Patriots games that, just think, 10 years from now, will you look back and still remember this game? Because there are a few games that stick out, like Edelman throwing the pass to Amendola in the playoffs, the butt fumble. There are these weird Patriots moments that you remember the whole game, specifically years after for that. Is this such a momentous moment that we'll remember it? Damn, remember that punt return to win it, to end the Jets game? Or is this just another flash in the pan, another great play from the Patriots, and we won't really it'll get lost in the track of time?
I think that the latter, just because of how the game was leading up to it.
Yeah. I was wondering that because everyone who was at the game, I have a bunch of friends who were at the game, were like, it was fucking miserable until the end. And like, no, they didn't even really mention the end. They were like, it was miserable until the end. And then they didn't really show much excitement, but like they were there freezing. So I wanted to know the viewers.
I'm going to remember this game in kind of the same. Well, obvious. I think it depends on what happens for the rest of the season. If the Patriots go on this deep playoff run or something, this is some magical season. We'll remember it a little bit more fondly, at least. But I will remember this game the same way I remember the Bills weather game last year, where I don't remember really a thing from that game where Mac Jones only threw it 3 times. I just remember like the details of it, just that it was the game where the Patriots ran the ball a billion times in a row. They came out with the win. I'll remember this kind of the same way, where it's like the game was like a defensive masterclass, offensive struggle on, to an extent as well, but just it ended in a wild way. That'll kind of be it.
I'm always curious because the way I remember old games is usually from like one big play, and like I'll kind of forget the rest of the game. Like when Randy Moss, the Saints, the Campbell Tompkins one, when Tom Brady threw the screen out to Randy Moss, who threw it back to Tom Brady and down to Jabbar Gaffney. I couldn't tell you what the fuck happened through the rest of that game. I just know that play happened.
Yep.
So stuff like that, like that's how I remember games. So I was curious.
Yeah. I agree. Almost like the Ravens playoff game where it was the pass to Amendola. Like I think you mentioned the throw to Edelman, something like that.
Yeah.
Al,
where it's just so obscure.
What do you have to say about this game?
I'm gonna keep it brief. Good game, good win, but you gotta move on.
Yeah.
Simple.
Yeah. And I feel like that's kind of you saw the little inside the locker room video the Patriots posted where it was Belichick was like, guys, it's already Wednesday, basically, because the game Sunday, short week, very short week. So Patriots played the Vikings, who just got throttled by the Cowboys at home. So I guess not even talk me off the ledge. I guess talk me onto the ledge. I'm not worried about this game. One, it's Kirk Cousins in a primetime game. That's not
true.
Good.
I did forget that.
That's not good for Kirk. Secondly, we kind of saw what the Vikings offense looks like going against a really good defense. A defense that doesn't have to blitz to get pressure. A defense that doesn't have the best offense. The Cowboys, a team that doesn't have the best offense. The Cowboys they have a better offense than the Patriots. Let's be honest there. But I see Belichick playing this the same way he's played the whole season, kind of looking at what the Cowboys did. Look, we're going to rush 4, maybe send an extra blitzer, whatever, make Kirk Cousins' night a living hell, and, make sure Justin Jefferson doesn't go off for 9 and $150. I know Dalvin Cook's there. I don't know, like, I don't even know what his stats are. I feel like he's been kind of not unimpressive, but just under the radar this year. I'm excited about this game. I'm excited the Patriots play on Thanksgiving. What are your guys' concern level? I don't know. I can't bring myself to be too concerned about this game, and I don't know why. And I feel like I'm falling into a trap.
Sorry, I'm doing some Googling here. Al, you take this one while I finish up this last thing, because Dalvin Cook is actually having like a pretty solid season. So I just looked that up. I'm like, okay,
maybe
he's almost got 1,000 yards. He's got 6 touchdowns. Normally he gets more touchdowns, but he's on pace for over 1,000 yards. Anyway.
He was hurt I think that's it. Like there was some sort of like injury thing with him. I don't even know. It's just the Vikings are a weird team. They're 8-2, but are you 8-2?
I know. I struggle with that too, because I'm a gambling man, so I try and think about it. Like teams that get smoked the week before usually come out and kick ass the next week because they probably got ran to hell all week at practice. So I'm like, all right, are the Vikings going to come out here fired up? But then, just like you said, the biggest thing is Kirk Cousins in primetime. It's scary how accurate that rule is. He just never performs. So that puts me at ease. And then, like you said, he played a competent defense, I guess, in the Cowboys, as much as it fucking pains me to say that.
It kills you, but they are, man. Yeah. You got to admit it. You got to give credit.
I won't exactly full out admit it, but they were all right. And they looked completely terrible. I bet on the Vikings and they ate shit. So I am torn here where I feel like they're going to come out firing, but Kirk Cousins primetime, he has to lose this game. So now it makes me think, high scoring game where the Patriots come out at the end because Kirk throws a terrible interception on like a game winning drive.
All right. So I go back and forth with this because Mike, you said it literally a minute ago. It's a weird game because the Vikings are good right now. They're leading the NFC North. And they have weapons, like you can't take it away from them. Justin Jefferson, one of the best wide receivers, if not right now, right this second, one of the best receivers in the NFL. Dalvin Cook, as you just said, Liam, having a really good year, going to be on pace for 1,000 rushing yards. TJ Hawkinson, a guy that they just traded for from Detroit, a guy that can help you out in the red zone, and everybody forgets about Adam Thielen. I'm not saying Adam Thielen is how he was 3 years ago, but he still can be a productive player in this offense.
More than Adam Thielen. Yep.
So now, right, you put all that into play. A good thing for the Patriots, and you said this at the beginning of the show, Mike, Christian Darrisaw, their offensive tackle, out, and he's their best offensive lineman. That's big for the Patriots. That's a big break.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I can see this game, and I know it's because obviously there's a winner and a loser in the NFL most of the time. This game can go one of two ways. It can either be that the Vikings win like a 24-13 type of game where Kirk Cousins isn't great, but the Patriots offense continues to struggle, or the Patriots defense can be so good and contain Kirk Cousins and shut down Dalvin Cook, where you have to force Kirk Cousins to win the game on Thanksgiving night, that the Patriots pull off a 17-14 or a 21-17 type of upset. And yes, we're going to call it an upset because on paper, the Vikings should kill the Patriots. Mm-hmm. But again, you got to play the game on the field. This game, this is one of the few times where I don't know. Like, I usually have a good feeling about these games, but this is one I don't have a good feeling on, either way. So you hope that the defense shows up. You hope the offense takes that next step, gets you a couple touchdowns next game. I know that sounds silly to say.
Whoa.
But I know, crazy. Get in the end zone, right? What?
Whoa.
What? But you got to find a way to generate some offense here. Because guess what? That Vikings defense, pretty good too. Danielle Hunter on that defense. Harrison Smith on that defense. Who's the other Smith on that defense? He was on the graphic with Judon.
It is Zadarius Smith, but he's been Mr. Zadarius has been limited in practice. So he's not even a full go for the game. And he's arguably their best linebacker out of the ones you guys said. Right. So he's a little also Andrew Booth, the guy that I think a lot of us had pegged to go the Patriots corner. He did not practice, so he's got a lingering knee injury. So and their cornerbacks are banged up anyways. The other two in the depth chart as well. And like you said, their left tackle Darrisaw is most likely going to be out. He's got a concussion. Yeah, I don't see him playing at all.
So we'll see.
The defense, it's going to be. The way I see, let me ask you something. If against the Jets, if the Jets were not in Mac Jones's ass all day, do you think that this new, I don't even want to say new, but just kind of revamped, a little bit better offense would have put up more points against the Jets if Mac Jones had even an extra half a second to throw or something? Probably, maybe. Right? So
Maybe
I gotta think that this Vikings defense is not as good as the Jets defense. They're good. Don't get me wrong. I mean, the team is still 8-2, so they do still have talent. Yeah. I just don't see I don't see Mac Jones under as much pressure. I do still think he'll be under pressure because the offensive line is kind of, patchwork at best right now. But I just with the injuries that they have going on, with it being a short week, like you said, Liam, normally when a team gets shit whipped like they did against the Cowboys all week, they're getting nailed in practice, everything like that. They're getting put through the ringer and then they go through the game plan. I just don't think the Vikings coaching staff has enough time to do that. There's only 3 days. So it's like, how hard, how hard are you gonna work them when they only have a few days to get their bodies right to be back? And not saying that, they're not going to be, verbally abused and everything, which they
No,
should
no,
be for
no,
the
no.
performance
No.
they had. But it's just it's one of those weird games where, Al, you said it. It is a weird game. It's a short week. It's a night game on a Thursday. Everything's kind of off. It's Thanksgiving. There's, just so many other things you're dealing with.
Extra
And
distractions.
exactly.
Yeah.
And that is the key. When you have a weird game, distractions, different timing, short rest, team you don't play that much, I will bet the house on Bill Belichick 10 times out of 10. So I think that I think I just talked myself through why I feel like this.
I think you did.
That's why I am so confident about this game. I have confidence in Bill Belichick that he will just put together a game plan that the whole team can get behind, offense, defense, and special teams, that can win you this game. I have more confidence in their coaching staff than I do the Vikings, and I have a lot more confidence in the Patriots defense than I do the Vikings offense. So I don't know what the score is going to be, high scoring, low scoring. I don't know, because like I said, it is one of those short week things. I do think, though, that the Patriots come out of this with the win, which I think is important.
If it puts you guys at ease a little bit here, just looked up the updated defensive rankings as of today. The Vikings rank 20th in the league. And any guesses where the Jets rank?
3.
Not great, right? Where?
Guess.
Are you
Mike,
talking
what do you think?
Fourth.
Okay.
Yeah.
7th.
Okay, so
Okay.
they went down.
Okay, they went down. Still, yeah, good. Oh, but another reason why I think this game is so important and why I'm having an issue focusing on this. Do you guys know what the next game is after the Vikings game?
Thursday night at home against Buffalo.
No, but do you know that? But do you know the extra little detail of that game?
Yeah. They're unveiling the Pat Patriot uniforms again, right?
The throwbacks, baby.
Throwbacks.
The throwbacks are back.
Guaranteed win.
So I think this game, you almost need this one, because then you have a whole kind of a mini bye to build in a game plan to just take down Josh Allen. God, if the Patriots end up beating the 8-2 Vikings and then beat the Bills the next week, buddy, I might come on this podcast completely naked. We will be very excited. Very excited. So but anyways, we're thinking ahead. We're thinking ahead.
Excited.
I think the Patriots take care of business. I do think that they beat the Vikings. Al, Liam and I have been doing something this season where we give our game breaker for the game for the Patriots, someone kind of like NFL Street, who you think the game breaker is going to be, who you think is going to be like the big guy, whatever you think, offense, defense, special teams, could be coaching, whatever. I think this week for me, the game breaker is going to be Jacoby Myers. I don't think I picked him. I think Jacoby Myers has a really good game, because I think with the simplified game plan, there's going to be a lot of short routes, slant routes, kind of, bread and butter plays. There is no better bread and butter than Mac Jones to Jacoby Myers on this offense. So I think the Patriots win it. Jacoby Myers is my game breaker. Liam, you go. We'll let Al go last and wrap it up.
All right. This will be my second time choosing this guy as my game breaker. The first time, he got benched. So I'm going to Mac Jones. This is my game breaker. If we are going to beat a dynamic offense, we're going to have to put up points. Even if the Patriots defense holds them to 13 points, we're going to need to score more than that. And these last 2 weeks have been not so great in the offensive category. So, of course, this all depends on the offensive line, but God damn it, I'm expecting Mac Jones to show up on Turkey Day.
Mac Jones,
I like it.
So mine's not an MJ, but it's actually a JJ, and it's Jack Jones. Because guess what? Jack Jones.
I love it.
Jack Jones. Think about this. Jack Jones, right, is a guy that beginning of the season really well, had that pick 6 in Green Bay. Had a really good 3-4 game stretch. Last couple games, not that he's played bad, but you haven't really heard anything about him, right?
Yep.
I think if Kirk Cousins wants to do well in this game, he's going to throw the ball. And guess what? Don't be surprised if not all the time, but a couple times you might see Jones matched up with Jefferson. You might see it.
Yep.
You might see it. And guess what? He's due for a pick. He's due for a game-changing play. So guess what? My game breaker, give me JJ, give me Jack Jones.
Panda Jack, baby.
I like
That's
it.
funny you said that because I was thinking of him too. I'm like, we really need another Jack Jones interception. Like he was hot for those
we do.
two games.
I think
Phoenix
I was
for another
praying
one.
I was praying you weren't going to take him. I was saying
I
to
think
myself,
we'll get
if
it.
Liam takes him, I was going to be so pissed and probably
I
storm
love
out
him.
of the
I probably
paint.
should have.
I think we'll get it. Before we go, I have two last questions for you guys. Very quick, one-word answers for each of them. Liam and Al, does Matthew Judon get a sack this game?
Yes.
Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay. Secondly, I agree. Yes. Secondly, we'll end it on this with Thanksgiving being Thursday. We'll go around. Everybody, favorite Thanksgiving food on your table this Thursday. What is it going to be?
Oh, that's easy. That's very easy. My mom's homemade stuffing.
Oh, fuck. That was going to be mine too, but I was like, okay, that's a little, I feel everybody has a good homemade one. So, okay, stuffing, love it. Liam?
It would have to be gravy. I lambaste myself in that shit. I would
see.
drink it. I would drink it out of the ladle if I could. I just put that shit. It's like red hot. I put that shit on everything.
Funny story. I'm not a gravy guy. Don't like it. Doesn't matter what kind of recipe. Don't like it. My thing, ham. I'm going ham. Big ham guy. I like turkey,
Big
but
ham guy.
I will eat an entire ham. Also, another little fun fact: when I was growing up, I thought a ham was an actual animal. Just a bunch of little hams running around. So
poor innocent Mike.
On that note, Al, I feel like we might have to have you on around the Bills game, something like that. Maybe after the after the Vikings game or after the Bills game, one of those two things. We'll see, so we can kind of discuss that a little bit.
Down.
But for
Fire me
Big
up.
Al, thank you for coming. Liam McDade, I'm Mike Sullivan. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Hope you have a great gravy, turkey stuffing filled, ham filled day, and hopefully watch the Patriots pick up another win, get to 7-4. So this was Tuck Rule Takes, episode 57. We are out.
Kirk Cousins.
Thanks.
Sweet feet.
Sweet feet.